Top 5 Tuesday is underway. This time I'm talking interior defensive linemen. Starting things off at number 5, first up on my list is Akeem Hicks of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The All-Pro from 2019 had over 20 quarterback pressures, 9 sacks, and 11 tackles for loss in 2019. And heading into the 2020 NFL season, I really expect him to keep up that high level of production with strong hands, great footwork, and a powerful bull rush move that just destroys interior offensive guards, putting them in the lap of their quarterback. Akeem Heyward is an absolute nightmare for, offensive coordinators to try to account for because the dude is absolutely just too powerful for some of his interior offensive linemen, even able to get through offensive tackles and centers, no problem. Akeem Heyward poses a threat for offensive coordinators trying to protect their quarterback and running back, trying to stop him from blowing up plays in the backfield. Akeem Heyward's been a valuable asset for the Pittsburgh Steelers for years and years and years now, and I expect him in 2020 to still keep up a pretty solid level of production. 9 sacks seems like a pretty solid range between there to 11 sacks. I could see him nabbing. 20 total quarterback pressures seems a little high for him, and overall, well, I think he could break 15 for sure. Tackles for loss around the 15 mark, which means he's going to be in opposing backfields a lot this upcoming season. He's a great complement to the outside edge rush that TJ Watt brings, along with a number of other really good Pittsburgh Steelers, including Bud Dupree and Stephon Tuitt within that front 7. So Akeem Hicks at number 5 on my list heading into the 2020 NFL season. Head things up to blistery Chicago for number 4, Akeem Hicks of the Chicago Bears. Last year, spent a lot of time injured, spent the season on IR for the most part, so wasn't able to be incredibly productive in 2019, but when Akeem Hicks is on the field, the Chicago Bears defense gets to really work and thrive. That interior pass rush, the strong hands, great hand work, great footwork, powerful presence on the interior, destroys opposing quarterbacks' sense of security, just pushing linemen into the guy's lap, into your quarterback's lap, into your running back's lap. Consistently helps make players like Khalil Mack have better overall days, gives them a better opportunity to make even more plays in the secondary with guys like Eddie Jackson and, Kendall Fuller out there at cornerback. I mean, the Chicago Bears defense kind of runs based on that interior pass rush presence Akeem Hicks brings, and the Chicago Bears defense has a lot of really good key contributors. The offense obviously needing a little bit more work, but with Akeem Hicks coming back in 2020, I put him at number 4 because I expect him to have a really productive, strong season for the Chicago Bears as the Bears try to get back to prominence in the NFC North. I think Akeem Hicks brings that extra edge that they might have been missing last year to at least keep the defense playing at a 100% level. Number 3 on the list, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champion Chris Jones just got a massive payday from the Kansas City Chiefs. Gonna be there for a little while longer, like 4 years, $80-something million. Chris Jones getting a hefty raise heading into his 5th NFL season. The Super Bowl champion made his first Pro Bowl last year and was a really effective player for the Kansas City Chiefs defense down the stretch during the season as they were kind of hitting their stride later on through the year. Chris Jones' ability to pocket push for the Chiefs defense, Steve Spagnuolo's defense, Chris Jones' ability to get after opposing quarterbacks, to apply pressure consistently on every single series and to disrupt running plays, running avenues in the interior is what makes him so valuable to the Kansas City Chiefs defense. One of the captains, one of the, loud, outspoken leaders on the Kansas City Chiefs, is one of the more exciting players and vowed under his new contract to get a Defensive Player of the Year award to his name. And I'm excited to see if he's actually gonna, put the Chiefs' money, so to speak, right where his mouth is and raise his play to the level of expectation he has for himself to match the money he's gonna be making, and to see, well, how good can Chris Jones be at his peak, right? I think the dude could absolutely break double-digit sacks this year, around the 20 tackles for a loss mark as well, along with some forced fumbles here and there, consistently applying pressure to opposing quarterbacks. Checking out number 2 on the list, the Philadelphia Eagles defensive captain, Fletcher Cox, has made number 2 on my interior defensive lineman list. Heading into the 2020 NFL season, over 48 sacks in his career, 60 tackles for loss, and over 120 quarterback pressures is what sets him apart from a lot of his, counterparts at the position, right? His ability to chase down and get after opposing quarterbacks and at least apply the pressure onto them, disrupt their timing, their tempo, disrupt, the actual play happening in the backfield. Fletcher Cox is an absolutely valuable asset for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. He's an absolute nightmare for offensive coordinators to try to plan for, and even if he's not the one directly making the play, he's setting it up so that other players around him could go after and make some big plays, right? Guys like Barnett and Graham getting after quarterbacks because of the work that Fletcher Cox puts in, and he ain't too shabby himself. Again, over 48 sacks in his career, over 60 tackles for loss means he's at least hitting home here and there, getting some production for himself as well. Putting him at number 2 on my list was a pretty easy decision. He's an absolute pass rush nightmare who can also blow up plays in the backfield, disrupting running backs' flows. Going through the interior of the defensive line means you have to commit at least 2 guys onto Fletcher Cox every single play you're trying to run up the gut. And when it comes to passing situations, it's not uncommon to see him also getting doubled on the interior side of things. So Fletcher Cox at number 2 heading into the 2020 NFL season seems like a perfect fit for me, and I'm sure you can tell who number 1 is already. Number 1 on the list is one of the best players in the NFL, period. Certainly a top 2 or 3 player at the NFL level, at least, is Aaron Donald of the Los Angeles Rams. Over 70 sacks in his career, over 115 tackles for loss, 15 forced fumbles since entering the league, and he's been an all-pro player, Pro Bowl player since he entered the league. The only year he didn't make all-pro was his rookie year. So Aaron Donald, one of the best players in the NFL, pound for pound. He's gonna be wearing a gold jacket one of these days. Can absolutely destroy offensive game plans, knows how to get after quarterbacks, cause pressure with great leverage, a smaller size, crazy enough, applies great leverage, incredible strength, a lot of really good pass rush, power, bull rush, finesse moves to get after opposing quarterbacks. Aaron Donald is an absolute nightmare for offensive coordinators at every level of the game to try to account for. He gets after your quarterbacks, he gets after your running backs, he makes plays out in space even if he has to. Aaron Donald is one of the most, nightmarishly talented players in the NFL, one of the hardest players to stop. He's number 1 on my list, and he's one of the best pound-for-pound football players in the NFL. The guy's gonna be wearing a gold jacket one of these days. Hopefully he's trying to pick up a few more, trophies, some more rings, some more whatever for the trophy case along the way. Aaron Donald, numero uno. But thank you so much for watching the video. All my social medias are down in the description below. Stick around and watch some more content, subscribe, get the bell to know every single time I'm dropping a video. Like, comment, share, all the good stuff, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Adios.